Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Storybook collection from Close to My Heart. I have been using this collection quite a bit, trying to use up what I have left. And I have been surprised at how many layouts I have gotten out of this collection. So I decided to add a couple layers at the top that are ripped, and then I'm going to just have this one photo of my son sleeping. I am going to use my gloss sprays, but use it kind of to splatter. So you can see that with pencil, I kind of sketched where that other piece of paper is going to go. In my mind, I kind of had, I guess, the splatters going from kind of wider at the top to smaller at excuse me, at the bottom. Not how it worked out. I kind of got carried away with the splatters, but I still really like how it turned out. So I had a smaller piece of this glacier paper here, but still wanted to use it to back my photo with. And so what I did is I just used that and then used the darker paper as kind of my second border for my photo. So once that dried, I went ahead and got my gold glitter pen and showed you what not to do with that. I still kind of new with the glitter pens, but what I did is I actually twisted it, and what happens when you twist it to undo the cap is it actually untwists the, I guess, what holds the ink in there. So what you have to do with that is just pull it apart instead of twisting it apart, and then that way you don't get the large blob on accident that I did. So then I just went ahead and kind of just splattered that with the white paper there as well. So I'm really trying to use up scraps on this, kind of what I have left. So I have a zip strip, and then I have just a really skinny piece of this striped paper, but I love the colors of that paper, and so I wanted to utilize it as much as I could. So I added that, and then really struggled getting the zip strip underneath. I wanted enough of the zip strip to show, but the other strip is just so tiny that I really struggled to get them kind of placed properly, or placed so that enough would show. And really it doesn't show the zip strip very well, but that left hand side is just so skinny that I couldn't really move the zip strip up anymore. So there are some good stickers in here left over that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the You Are My Treasure. This was from a couple years ago. He does occasionally fall asleep on my lap still, if it's getting close to bedtime and he's super tired, but I just treasure these moments because I know they're not going to last forever, and so I'll take a picture here and there. So I really tried, I think I was going off of a layout I saw on Instagram, and I just tried to look and see if I could find it to tell you kind of who I was scrap lifting, but I could not find it. So I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of struggle with this layout. I do get into my stash to find other embellishments, and I actually found this old Pink Fresh these sticker sheets, and there were some labels, so I decided to kind of layer the labels at the top left to kind of fill in that space, and then also give it a base for another embellishment cluster. And then on that same kind of those sticker sheets, I found a sticker, the colors matched perfectly, that said Dreamer, and I just was like, that is perfect. I have to figure out how I can include that. So you can see I'm kind of just trying to figure out what to use. I really struggled at this point to find something that I liked. I was not enjoying the way that this layout, I guess the direction it was going. the bottom left is wide open. I have those labels in the top left. It just seemed all over the place to me. So many different embellishment clusters, and I really just sat there and looked and tried to figure out how to make this better. And what I actually ended up doing was stepping away, and then coming back after looking at Instagram. I found that post again, the inspiration, and then I felt like I could come back, and you will see that this layout goes in a completely different direction now. So pretty much we're going to deconstruct this layout. We are going to start by taking the labels off of the top, and we are actually going to make a cluster in the bottom left. As you can see on the top, as I was ripping those labels up, I ripped that paper. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do another layer at the top of that striped paper. I had enough that I could use and it would work, and so I added that. And then I'm actually going to move my photo down a little bit. Now that I had that extra layer, I felt like that filled in enough at the top that I didn't have to have my photo as high up. And then I'm going to use those labels at the bottom as a cluster. I have mini heart epoxy flares from Scrap and Happy Studio, so I added that with a heart that says, I think, love you forever. And then I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to cut it out of the Irresistibles paper from Close to My Heart. If you are not familiar with this paper is so cool. It has patterns on it, and you're gonna see I'm gonna use a couple of different inks and blend the tag here with the inks, and you can kind of see the polka dots poking through. Now I'm going to use the melon at the top. I'm kind of going to make an ombre tag here, so melon at the top, getting lighter as we go, and then I think papaya or paprika, I can't remember which one, at the bottom. So you can kind of see that I am, and they're not polka dots, they're stars. I'm blending it kind of ombre. And then I just took a baby wipe. I think you can just use a paper towel or whatever as well, and just kind of get that ink off of those stars, and the stars just kind of clean up and stay white. So it's just so fun. There's couple alphabets as well, that are the irresistibles. And then the paper, there's stars, a plaid, a little daisy, I think, and another pattern. So just so fun, and really you get to customize it to whatever you want. I then went into the mix and pack and grabbed that yellow paper and cut another tag there. So I am going to kind of almost make my photo larger by adding those tags to the left of my photo. And I also decided, those tags look like they're floating, so I went and got this polka dotted paper from the mix and paper pack as well, and I'm going to add like a tag there so that the tags don't look like they're floating. The mix and paper packs are amazing, and this one from this catalog is one of my favorites of all time. What they are is, it's a set of papers that actually match all of the collections in the catalog that month. So it just kind of helps you get more out of the collections, because you get more papers, I guess, that kind of are the same colors and that match. So I did add a zip strip across there so that I could have a base for my Dreamer title. And then I ended up in my stash and I found this heart that was the perfect yellow. So add that to the title, and now you can kind of see it is starting to come together. I definitely like the way that it turned out a lot better than the way it started. I have these little tiny hearts I'm going to use to finish that "You Are My Treasure" down at the bottom. Just kind of trying to use up the sticker sheet here. And then in my stash, I also have it's from a Felicity Jane collection, and I only have 2 of these little circles left here, but that ampersand, I felt like that bottom cluster needed one more piece, and I just decided to use that up and add that to the bottom cluster. And then I am just going to do a simple kind of layered label cluster at the top now as well. I did feel kind of like that needed just a little something. So I went into that same Pink Fresh those sticker sheets, and layered a couple other of the labels here. And I'm going to add a phrase sticker and then another smaller flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. And that is just going to finish off this layout. So if ever you are struggling with a layout, there is no shame in walking away, kind of finding your inspiration again and coming back to it. I definitely love the end product way more than the beginning and how it started. So there's always hope for a layout, and you know what? Sometimes you don't have to love it, but the photos are still documented. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.